Hello, Washington DECA, and welcome to your Google Hangout. Today, we are very excited to have Sean Carson, the Vice President Marketing Officer from Heritage Bank, with us to talk about marketing and how you can prosper in the industry as an individual. So, without further ado, I'd like to welcome Sean Carson.
Thanks, Parker. I am excited to be here. It's my first Google Hangout, so we'll experiment and see how it goes. I just gave you guys a little introduction about myself. As Parker said, I'm Vice President at Heritage Bank. I'm a marketing manager. I've been with the organization for 13 years. It's hard to believe how time flies. I started there 1 year out of college. I graduated from Aberdeen High School and then went on to Washington State University. Go Cougs. So out of college, I went back home and lived with my family for a year and then started with Heritage Bank. And I've been there for 13 years. And I think we'll talk a little bit about some of the things I do in marketing and how you can be successful in the marketing field as well. So we'll dive right into the questions. The first question is, how did you first get involved in marketing? Well, I first got involved in marketing in college at WSU. As I started my business degree, I went into business administration, and then my focus and my degree was on marketing. So that was my first introduction to marketing. When I graduated, I wasn't sure what industry I was going to go into or what field. I just, I knew I wanted to get my foot in the door, start somewhere, and then work my way up and get a position in marketing. So what made me want to work at Heritage Bank? I can tell you, I didn't seek out the financial services industry. That wasn't like on my list or what I had in mind. I was in Aberdeen, Washington, and then moved to Olympia, where my now wife was attending South Puget Sound Community College. Needed a job, thought business, and banking. So I started going around to the local banks and went to a local bank, and they said, "Hey, you're from Aberdeen. You should go talk to Kevin Ecker over at Heritage Bank." So I did. And from there, I just started entry level. I started as a frontline, what most people know as a teller. And then I worked my way up. I went from a teller to home loans, and then got my foot in the door as a marketing assistant, and did that for almost 8 years. And then I've taken over the marketing responsibilities over the last 3 years. So some of the ongoing tasks that we cover in marketing is really everything that has to do with the brand. It's really our job to enforce and live the brand of Heritage Bank, whether it's customer communications, documentation, really anything that has to do with outreach, acquisition, bringing in new customers, selling products and services is all touched by marketing. And I think we'll go into a little bit. One of the questions is, what is one of your favorite projects you've been able to accomplish with Heritage Bank? And over the last 2 years, I've had the ability to do some things that some people in the marketing field never get to do. Heritage Bank, a company that started in 1927, went through a big merger. We doubled in size, and we had the opportunity to rebrand the organization from new logo to full-on branding, brand guidelines. So that was a huge undertaking. Took a lot of effort and collaboration with senior management and working with design firms, which really starts to open up what the different opportunities are in the marketing field. From us, where we're managing the marketing department, the day-to-day operations of the bank. Then opening up those partnerships with design firms and advertising agencies, you start to kind of experience the whole dynamic in the marketing field and the different opportunities that are out there. And I think, as people are interested in the marketing field, it really, kind of gives you the perspective of how many, different opportunities there are. I work for an organization and manage their marketing department. I work with an advertising agency who really focuses on multiple different companies, how to bring their brands to life, and how to set organizations on the right path with their brands. With the logo, we worked with a design firm, and they really are all about working with companies and coming up with logos, designs, website redesigns. So they really focus on the graphic design and implementation of those endeavors. So you really start to get the full gamut and full understanding of what's available in the marketing field. What are some of the pros and cons of the marketing industry? I would say the one is, when I first started in marketing, my boss said that you'll never have 2 days that are the same. And I truly believe that. Since I've been at Heritage Bank in 12 years, I can honestly say that no 2 days have been the same. The industry is ever changing. And I think every industry, experiences that. You can look at banking and say it was all about, writing checks, 15, 20 years ago, moved to debit card. Now it's all about mobile and online banking, and you have to continue to change and learn. You have to be a critical thinker. So I think that's a pro and a con of the marketing industry, is that it's ever changing, but that makes it exciting. It makes it a learning process. There's always new mediums when you're looking at advertising. What started as, publications and doing print media now is, social media, how you tell your story. It's all content based, and you're looking at a whole different product set. So you have to continue to advance yourself and learn those new techniques, which I said is a pro and a con of the marketing industry. I'd also say it's very competitive. When you start to get into the advertising and design world, those companies are very competitive. So that's a pro and a con. I mean, if you want to push yourself and continue to grow and prosper, then you take on that challenge and you do that. The final question is, if a student such as a DECA member wanted to go into marketing, what steps should be recommended the student take after high school? I would say there's probably a number of options. I would say, if you're going on to college, you can obviously, put your focus or your degree in marketing. That's the path I chose, and it worked for me. But I'd say, really, if there's an industry that you want to get into, or there's something that really excites you, get in at the bottom level. Learn the organization, become familiar. That's how you're going to be successful. Is be dedicated to the organization or the industry that you're excited about, that motivates you. Learn all you can. Learn about the brand. Learn about the culture, and be able to put that into media or design or sales. So I think really focusing on industry and understanding the industry is going to help you be successful in marketing or sales, for that matter. How are we doing on time?
Maybe questions.
There is no questions. Yeah.
What do you do?
Yeah, so there are no questions, so I'll just continue to tell a little bit about what I do from the banking side, and maybe some projects we've undertaken lately. We're actually, as part of the marketing team, one of our main functions is the website. We've undertaken a website redesign, which is a big undertaking. A lot's changed in the mobile space today. So when I say it takes it's a lot about learning and developing new skills. When you're talking about, learning the design of a website, the functionality, how that transitions to mobile and tablet banking. It's a completely different design process than it was 5 years ago in the industry. So what we've done is we partner with a design firm and an advertising agency that works with the bank. So we lean on the design firm to really look at how the users are going to interact with the system. We take a look at things like customer journey mapping, how customers are going to utilize the website, how you might model that for certain customers. The bank being a business-focused bank and a retail-focused bank, you have to measure what you're trying to accomplish with a website, what your goals are. And we're obviously trying to get customers to open new accounts, but also utilize services. So we're putting things into place with the journey mapping, where we can look at how customers are utilizing the site and then develop a site that's interactive, intuitive, where customers can go out, ask questions, be funneled through the process. Many of you have probably seen like Ask Jen on the Alaska Airlines. So it's really having a smart application out there that is easy for customers to use, and really drives them to the ultimate goal of opening new accounts. So that's been an interesting proposition for the bank. We haven't redesigned our website for 5 years, so it's a big undertaking. Most people think, oh, you just go out and buy a website out there and you're good to go. But it's really a 6 to 8 month process. So in the end, the ultimate goal is for the bank to have an intuitive website that our customers can have ease of use and is mobile friendly, and that's kind of where we're at with the website design. So you can kind of see there's, I'm talking about website and different things that the bank's involved with. And, we have other people in our department. It's just not myself. We have an internal graphic designer who also works on the projects, as well as an electronic banking specialist, where she on this project is really heading up some of the design phase, as well as the social media landscape. I know that in the industry today, social media is a big part of how we interact. So at the bank level, we're trying to be smarter on that front as well. So my team is myself as the manager, and I work, as I said, with a design firm and like they would do all the, for example, they would do all like the TV broadcasts. So they would do things like they would go out and help us buy spots on the Mariners, the Olympics this year. And then they would also do our online advertising. So they would go out and purchase different ad campaigns via Google or Bing. And then they would do our print media as well, which is your local newspapers. So they kind of focus on that piece, and then internally, as I said, our team is really involved in the day-to-day operations. We have 60 branches, so as you can imagine, there's a number of things that the branches need, whether that be in-branch display, acquisition programs where they're going out and looking at new customers and how we bring in new customers. And that's, I think that's a big thing in any industry is, how are you successful in bringing in new customers, and ultimately, in a for-profit company, how you make money in doing that. And I think that's a big deal when you talk about from the marketing aspect of how you bring that together the right way, the effective way, and doing it in a way that you can be successful. So we have a few minutes left. We still don't have any questions. At this point, I'll leave it over to Parker to say a few words, or if you have any questions for me as we go through. I don't know if you want to.
So students will be competing this week at our state competition. So for those students who are competing in a competition that's focused on marketing and are given kind of like a mock situation where they have to come up with a solution within marketing, what tips would you give them?
Yeah, I think it's this Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah. I actually had an opportunity to talk to the head guy at DECA this week, so
nice.
I might have an opportunity to come out on Friday and be a part of the conference. I would say from the competition standpoint is really do your research. If you're looking at maybe certain things, whether it be putting a business plan together, do your research. There's a lot of research out there. Obviously, we're doing a Google Hangout. Take the time, go out there, whatever the project is you're doing, throw it out on Google, come together with that information, ask people. If you have certain industries or different things that you're looking to do for competition, look for people. Go out there on LinkedIn or even myself doing this. If there's specific questions, I know we talked a lot of things today of what we're doing in the financial industry, but it could be really anything when you're talking about specifics. I would say talk to people. A lot of people have good advice. It's a little difficult when we talk about this if you don't have a specific example. So yeah, I would say do the research on Google. There's a lot of secondary research out there, or just ask people in the industry. A lot of times they're more than happy to help or give advice.
Awesome. Cool.
Anything else you want to say here?
That's all, yeah. So to just kind of wrap things up, we'd just like to say thank you again to Sean for giving Washington DECA members an insight as to what working in the marketing industry is really all about. We hope you enjoyed the Google Hangout, and be sure to stay tuned for our March presentation on leadership. Thank you, and good luck at state this week, everyone.